Well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. We may have some more folks join us along the way, but would like to welcome you to our Shabbat/Hanukkah service for this year from the SpinozaHavurah. And for those of you who might be joining for the first time, either live or later in recording, want to welcome you. Just a reminder, if you'd like to be on our mailing list, please email us at spinozahavurah@gmail.com is the best way to find out what's going on. We also have a very active Facebook group for the Spinoza Havurah and encourage you to get involved there as well. But those are good starting points for connection to our community. And we're just so excited for you to join us today. Today's service is going to be a little different. We'll have a few of the pieces of the Shabbat liturgy, but most of this is going to focus on Hanukkah. We're going to have a lot of music along the way. I have three songs we'll be playing, all of Woody Guthrie Hanukkah songs, but performed by different people, performed by the Klezmatics, by a Nefesh Mountain, and then one sung by Woody himself. And so along the way, we'll have some time for conversation, unpacking some of the things from these songs, but also just about our own Hanukkah experiences this year. Also, there'll be some time for some Hanukkah show and tell. So if you have a dreidel, if you have a Hanukkah you'd like to show off, now's your time. So we'll have some time a little bit later too if you need to go get stuff, maybe when the songs are playing. But yeah, it should be a fun time together. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started with, let's see here. So I need to get these lined up just right. And by the way, a lot of the Hanukkah liturgy we're using this morning is from Martin's Hanukkah booklet. And by the way, you can find that on our website at SpinozaHavurah.org. But Martin is sharing it with our community for our home observance. So it's a really neat little book that my family and we used some of it last night. We really liked it. So I'm going to share screen. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת עמים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת עמים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת עמים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת עמים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת עמים גם יחד. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for people to dwell together. So we're going to go ahead and light Hanukkah lights this morning. If you have a Hanukkah you'd like to light, feel free. I will tell you this is slightly non-traditional because it's daylight here. You normally don't light candles in the daylight. But since we have members of our community from around the world, people where it isn't daylight yet, I feel free to light even in the daylight here, knowing that there are parts of the world where our members, our friends are lighting candles in the dark. So first of all, as we're lighting the shamash, this is the helper candle. We say these words. Baruch haor b'maseret hanoten lanu sason v'simka behadlakat net shel Hanukkah. Blessed is the light in the tradition which gives us joy and happiness in the kindling of the Hanukkah candles. And now let's see how I can position this to have the Hanukkah on the camera for a moment without burning the house down. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I can't see the screen exactly, but this should be okay. And since this is our first time together as a community to light Hanukkah candles, we'll go ahead and say the Sheashianu. Nevereket Akoa Betokenu Shehekianu Vikiyamanu Vikiyanu Lisman Haze. Let us bless the strength within us that has enlivened us, sustained us. Why is that jumping to? Let us bless the strength within us that has enlivened us, sustained us, and brought us to this season. And now, since this is last night, we lit the third night, so we'll do three today. This is what we'll recite. Baruch or Hatvuna, Baruch or Hakavod, Hatmi, Uvaruk or Haometz. Blessed is the light of reason, blessed is the light of self-esteem, and blessed is the light of courage. And now I'm lighting the three candles for today. Okay. So it's a little precarious, but okay, they're lit. I'm gonna let it burn for just a second before I move it, just to maybe give it a better chance of if it melts a little bit, they might be more likely to stay in place. So I'm gonna stop share for a moment. And now let's very carefully move the light over here, and hopefully we'll still get a little bit of residual candle light, but also do not want to burn myself in this process. Okay, there we go. Hanukkah candles have been lit. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go back to share screen. And as we talked about at the beginning, we're going to be sharing some of the music of Woody Guthrie along the way. So, except let me get to the right screen for that. So we're going to go ahead and play. The first one is we're going to do Woody Guthrie himself singing this, and just a little bit of background on Woody. He is famous for a lot of people because of his role of singing the songs of the Dust Bowl, of creating so many of the archetypal songs that told the story of the struggle of that time, particularly of economic migrants in the United States from Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, and the surrounding region who went to California during the Dust Bowl and often faced terrible persecution in California. For a time, California actually had a checkpoint at the border trying to deny Okies from coming to California. Completely illegal and unconstitutional, but nevertheless it happened. And so Woody told their stories through song, and he was one of the first who really did this well, and it really transformed this nation in some pretty significant ways. But throughout his life, he sung songs of the working class, of ordinary people struggling against injustice. In his 40s, he married a Jewish woman, and his mother-in-law was a great influence on him. She was also a poet like Woody. And so Woody went through a phase in the late 40s of writing oodles and oodles of Hanukkah songs. And bear in mind, he was raising Jewish. There's no evidence he ever converted, he did raise with his wife Jewish children. He was living in a very Jewish context. I'm in Coney Island, New York, and he wrote these amazing Hanukkah songs. And what I like about them a lot is that he's really looking at this holiday fresh. He from a sense almost a naivety about it, but it's kind of endearing and beautiful. Some of the songs, like this one, are ones that he did the music, the words, and the music for. Others are ones he just did the words for. But in later generations, people have picked up his words, and written new tunes to them. The Klezmatics are probably most famous for doing that, but others have as well. So anyway, well, the first song we're going to play is a good one. This is one that Woody himself is going to sing. So let me make sure I got that queued up. Yeah. And I apologize, this first one is just audio. The later ones will be video, it'll be a little more engaging. But I wanted us to hear at least one by Woody himself because he has a very distinctive, beautiful voice. Oh, let me know in the chat if you can't hear it once it starts.
A little oil jug, just enough for the lamps for one night. That one little jug burned, it kept our new temple in light. 8 candles we'll light, and a ninth one too. Every new year that comes and goes, we'll think of the many in the hands of the few, and thank God.
All right, this is running real slow. I'm going to try to do something real quick to speed this up. I think the problem's on my computer. And okay, let's try it again.
we're seeds of the Jews. Thank God we're seeds of the Jews. Tip-tap-toe, happy Hanukkah, around you go. My little latke on your toes. Happy Hanukkah, and around you go. Clap your hands, happy Hanukkah, clap, clap hands. My little strudler on your toes. Happy Hanukkah, and around you go. Jump real high, happy Hanukkah, jump, jump high. My little fruitcake on your toes. Happy Hanukkah, and around you go. Run, run fast, happy Hanukkah, run, run, run. My little sugar pie on your toes. Happy Hanukkah, and around you go. Hop, 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 happy Hanukkah, yippity hop. My little shoodly on your toes. Happy Hanukkah, around you go. Tip-tap-toe, happy Hanukkah, around you go. Happy Hanukkah on your toes. Happy Hanukkah, around you go. Tip-tap-toe, happy Hanukkah, around you go. My little latke on your toes. Happy Hanukkah, around you go.
And that was some Woody Guthrie there. Okay, let me queue up our next thing here. So for this next bit of liturgy, this is from Martin's Hanukkah booklet that we put. Again, it's on our website. You can also find it on Facebook. But who would like to recite this special blessing for the third night of Hanukkah, either in Hebrew and or English?
I could Hebrew.
Thank you.
Okay. Baruch or Adnuna, Baruch or Hakavod Atzmi, Baruch or Haometz. Blessed is the light of reason, blessed is the light of self-esteem, and blessed is the light of courage.
Amen.
Amen.
One thing in this little booklet you'll notice is that each night, it almost reminds me a tiny bit of the 12 Days of Christmas in a weird way, because things get added each round. And so to me, though, it's also, I really like it because it represents, we earlier had a discussion on Facebook about the Hillel and Shammai's dispute about how to light Hanukkah candles. Does the light increase? Does it dwindle? And so I kind of like it, kind of fits the argument of the light increasing. So anyway, so our next musical thing, let's do the Klezmatics next. This one is Hanukkah. No, that's not the right one. Here it is. Now this one I will tell you is a doozy. 6 minutes long. Woody Guthrie tells in poetic form the entire story of Hanukkah, at least a certain version of it. So we'll have some discussion after this to unpack Woody's telling of the story. And remember a few things about Woody. Again, he did not grow up Jewish. He's now married to a Jewish woman, is embedded in Jewish culture pretty deeply. So he's learning a lot, but he's gonna pick up on different things than someone who is born Jewish might pick up on. Also, remember his political orientation was always towards the working class. So that's going to flavor how he tells this story. But the amount of detail here is just kind of fascinating and pretty epic. So anyway, we'll go ahead and play this, and then after that, we'll have some conversation.
My name is King Cyrus, my order I give. You Jews can go back to your home to build your holy temple again in the land of Palestine. We've sung and danced o'er the hot, rocky road back to where it's Yisroel's land. We worked with plow and rake and hoe, and we blessed the works of our hands.
My name is Ezra, the teacher man. I brought my scroll book along. I brought my flock to Israel from that land called Babylon. I'll read you my Talmud Torah book and the prophet's dreams to you. And you'll be fertile and multiply if you keep your Torah true.
My name is Alexander the Great. More than half of this wide world is mine. Come stand around, my servants all. I'm wrapped on my bed here to die. As the king of Syria and Palestine, Antiochus the Fourth, you'll stand to kill the Jews if they refuse to worship our idols and gods.
My name is Hannah, my firstborn son now stands before this king, guilty of keeping the Sabbath laws by the soldiers I see. It's one by one my 7 sons in front of my eyes cut down for keeping to the Torah laws. I pay with my warm blood now.
My name's Mattathias, I've got 5 sons. In Modin city we dwell. They tried to make me bow down to their gods. 2 of the king's flunkies I killed. 100 or more who'll fight to be Jews did come to these hills with me. On my deathbed, your leader I'll name. 'Tis Judah the Maccabee.
Oh, my name is Judah the Maccabee. By the name of the hammer I'm called. We'll pray to God before every fight till all of our enemies fall. Apollonius the governor this day I killed, and his army we did bust. Some few of his soldiers run away with the wind, but most we've dropped dead in the dust.
Oh, Siren's my name, from Syria came to destroy that full Maccabee. My army was great and his army was small, but somehow did win over me. To deliver the many to the hands of the few, for God this is no trick at all. In a few short hours my army did break, and we flooded this valley with blood.
My name is Lysias, I dreamed up a plan to burn the Jews' tents as they slept. When I got there, their tents were all bare, and the Maccabees' army had left. He stormed my own camp as my soldiers did sleep, and he killed several thousand in fear. My elephants, my horsemen, my foot soldiers all, Judah hammered them down from the rear.
Jerusalem, where Judah came back to build up my temple once more, to cut down the weeds and thorny brush that grows round my windows and doors. Whole stones we'll build and pray to God like a wholehearted Jew. God's love that hateful many did drive to the hands of a God-loving few. We found in our temple a little oil jug, just enough for the lamps for one night. That one little jug burned 8 whole days, and it kept our new temple in light. 8 candles will burn, and a 9th one too, every new year that comes and goes. We'll think of the many in the hands of the few, and thank God we are seeds of the Jews.
Okay, so that was the klezmatics version of The Many and the Few by Woody Guthrie, and it's quite a story. So I'm curious, what are some of y'all's thoughts about this? Like, why did he pick the particular details he picked? I, I don't know. There's a lot of interesting stuff there. I'm curious what y'all think. And AJ, you put in the chat. I'll put links to all the videos in the chat, so we can talk. You can look at it more later as well. So feel free to unmute yourself, and I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Well, I see oppression. I mean, he's very much on thinking about how oppression works, and sometimes rulers help, but many a time they don't give the right to practice your own religion, the right to think like you think, forcing you to think or to worship things that you don't feel like worshiping, or you don't want to worship, or things like that. So yeah, I think that was his groove.
The imagery that he uses is rather violent when it comes to the Maccabees, and I hesitate at any time to celebrate violence, but I also understand that when it's my personal perspective that when an oppressor is going to use violence against you, you're justified in taking arms against them to end that oppression. And so I understand not everybody believes in that, that there are people that believe in nonviolence at all costs. But I can appreciate, the message that Guthrie was trying to share of people, taking a physical, even violent stance against oppression and violence against their people. And so while the imagery was rather strong, I can appreciate where he's coming from with that.
I do think one thing factor on that it's important is the timing. This is right after World War II, and so I think his own thinking seems to have evolved a little during the war. Before the World War II, I would say during World War II, he became more comfortable with the idea of violence against fascism or against oppression of different kinds. But he always had a kind of conflicted relationship with it at the same time. I think he kind of knew that violence, even if you allow it under extreme circumstances, often gets misused and co-opted by those in power in ways, unintended ways. One of the sad things is he had got Huntington's disease not long, I think beginning in the 50s is when he started having symptoms, and really from the 50s onward he was pretty much silenced for the most part. And so I always wonder, what he would have said during the Vietnam War, how he would have, where his thinking and his evolution was, what he would have said, but we'll never know because by then the disease was too much. One thing I thought was interesting was the imagery of God in this song. In fact, I debated a little bit: was it even appropriate to share it here in a humanistic context? And I decided that one, he's talking about it historically for the most part, but he is. It's complicated because the Maccabean story. God isn't really present. If you read First Maccabees in particular, it's really clear that the revolution against the Seleucids was a human endeavor. There was certainly the sense of hoping God blessed them, seeking that out sometimes, but for the most part, there wasn't this sense you hear in earlier biblical stories of God told the Israelites to do this or that, or even a prophet told them this or that. They seemed much more on their own, and so um, I think Woody kind of invokes God a little bit along the way, but it's more in this more generalized sense. The focus of the story is more on human struggle, which I do think that kind of fits humanistically.
We went to an online service, Jewish humanist service, last night in Westchester, New York. And the rabbi there was very interesting. I kind of liked it. They had more singing and more spiritual sense than some others I've been to. But he said that, no, I've lost my train of thought. He said that that in the story, there really wasn't the miracle of the oil, that was created by the rabbis after the fact. And that in the ancient account, it was just the war and taking back the temple and all of that. But the miracle aspect was not there. So really, it was just a war. It was a religious war because they were being oppressed religiously, and then and apparently, and that wasn't in this account, and I don't know where I know this from, but after they took over the Maccabees, they were rather harsh on religious differences, shall we say, even among Jews, I think. So I don't know, it's interesting.
Well, and it's interesting about 150 or so years later, during the first century of the Common Era, if you read the Christian New Testament, you see a lot of this tension because my understanding is the people that were the Maccabees, their descendants eventually became the Herodians to some extent. It's kind of a complicated family tree kind of situation, but it's of the same tradition. And by then, what's interesting is that often the more religiously observant now are bucking up against it. So it's, 150 years previous, it was fighting to ensure that Jews don't assimilate, Jews don't become too Greek. 150 years later, now the party line is do it our way or else, and sometimes that means persecuting more observant people. So the Essenes and some of these other groups were often in tension with the ruling powers. So, like one of the arguments I know that of why the story of the miracle of the world was developed was it was an attempt by the early rabbis to de-emphasize the Maccabees, but also to de-emphasize the story of resistance to empire. Because you can imagine in the Roman Empire, after two failed Jewish revolts, continuing to celebrate a story that's all about resistance to empire, not such a smart strategy. And so the theme of the holiday changed to the miracle of the oral. And you can understand why. And I think it also taps into other dynamics. I think I'm really curious, for instance, when did Christians develop the idea of the story of Christmas, their holiday at this time of year? And was that a factor? There's the miracle of the oral story. I'm curious of when the miracle of the oral story developed and when the Christmas story developed. And was there any kind of cross-pollination or response to it? We don't know. It's a lot of interesting questions.
I think it was, all the religions wanted to bring light back from the winter solstice when there's the least light. And so they all admitted some way of doing that. And they decided Jesus was going to be born then even though historically we think it was tax season, which apparently is April here, and it was there too, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's so interesting just how these holidays developed, how they cross-pollinate, how they evolve. It's just so cool.
Well,
Okay, we're gonna do one. Actually, we're gonna do a little bit of liturgy for a little bit, and then we'll come back and have some more music and some more discussion, and we'll do some show and tell. But first, let me jump over. Sorry, my computer's running really slow this morning. Okay, I don't need that open anymore. Okay, I'm gonna share screen again. So look into look at the faces of all of us on the yeah, take a moment to look into the people we see on the screen today, on the screen share, to imagine them filled with joy and happiness, to wish good wishes upon all who are gathered here. And I'm also thinking about all the people who aren't with us, but who will be watching later on Zoom. And so having them in mind as we recite this blessing. Let us bless the community which blesses us. Blessed is the community which blesses forever and ever. Baruch et hakal hamevarach. Baruch hakal hamevarach le'olam v'ahed. And now we have our version of the Shema. Who would like to recite this?
Listen, Israel, our people are one. Humanity is one. Let us work together to improve this world.
Shema Yisrael Echad Ameinu Hadam Echad Kulanu Navo Latakein Et HaOlam Hazeh. And let us pause for a moment to listen to the world around us. And who would like to recite this, the Vahavta in English?
And let us love our fellow as ourselves with all our heart, with all our soul, and with all our might. And let these words be always upon our hearts, impressing them upon our children, reciting them when we stay at home and when we go out, when we lie down and when we get up, binding them as signs on our hand, serving as a symbol on our forehead, inscribing them on the doorposts of our homes and on our gates.
This we believe to be true. Humankind is capable of redeeming itself from its troubles. Through our efforts, we heal disease, feed the hungry, lift up and free the downtrodden. We can achieve liberation through reason, compassion, and working together with trust in one another, with faith of a better future for all. Blessed is the light in humanity with which we redeem the world. Okay, we're going to stop screen share. Actually, you know what? Let's do our third song. This one is Nefesh Mountain. Nefesh Mountain, by the way, if you're not familiar with them, is a delightful Jewish bluegrass duo, husband and wife, and they have a band too, but they're glorious. I highly recommend all their stuff, but they do several of Woody Guthrie songs, so this is one of them.
Tippy-tap-toe, happy Hanukkah, round you go. My little latka on your toes. Happy Hanukkah, and around you go. Clap your hands, happy Hanukkah, clap, clap hands. My little sugar pie on your toes. Happy Hanukkah, and around you go.
And that was the Nefesh Mountain. Well, I think this is probably a good time for us to have some Hanukkah show and tell. So if you have anything that makes your Hanukkah observance special, any ritual objects, or if you even have a story you want to tell, we have a few minutes here. And I'll go to get us started. I'll go ahead and show my this year's Hanukkah purchase, which is a ridiculous but beautiful electric Hanukkah that I put on the front porch. And I'll show you that you hit the button and you see the first night, you see the shamash light and the first candle, then you hit another button. There's night two. You can see it goes through all the nights. So it's kind of silly and ridiculous, but it's amazing what you can buy online. So anyway, it's been kind of fun. So what do y'all have to share?
I'm bummed that my camera's not working because I would love to show you guys my Hanukkah. It's kind of it's I call it like a mid-century modern design. It's it's uh,
Ooh.
it's got like a slab of something that kind of looks almost like granite, and then like gold colored holder for the shamash in the middle. And anyway, but it looks really cool. But since I can't show you, I'll just share some other things that I'm doing for Hanukkah. Yeah, I'm glad that we're listening to the Woody Guthrie music because now I've been exposed to a little bit more Hanukkah music. But prior to that, I found a playlist on Apple Music that has a bunch of like modern Hanukkah songs. And as somebody that like in my life has been somebody who's enjoyed Christmas music, it's been really fun to have Hanukkah music to listen to as well. And have it be performed by people like Jack Black and a popular rock band called Haim and other stuff like that. And so I highly recommend looking up Hanukkah music if you haven't already. It can help get you in the spirit of the season, so to speak. So yeah, that's my recommendation is look up more Hanukkah music and just like Woody Guthrie.
Well, we have a number of things here.
That's the last.
Oh,
That's
that's the last one. This was the one.
yeah.
This says, Saul, the little known Hanukkah reindeer.
That is awesome.
And then we have a beautiful little,
Where's here?
Yeah.
Yes, these little guys.
oh, I was going to do the little dreidel. Here,
Oh,
take it.
well, that was gifted.
Was that my mother's? No, that was
No,
gifted to us.
from our daughter, Julie.
Oh,
gave
our
that to
daughter
us.
gave us this
Beautiful little glass
glass
dreidel.
dreidel that has a little thing you can, so it's for more of a show than playing. I don't know, we try to play dreidel with it,
No,
but
it's glass.
it's a more of a
But it's just pretty. We
pretty
like
thing
it.
on the shelf. We have these great little,
Things we've gathered
yes,
through the year.
children's finger puppets of a lamp, a candle, a dreidel. This is actually, no, it is a Hanukkah actually. And we don't know whether this is a donut or a latke. No, this is a piece of gelt. I'm sorry, it says it right on it. Hanukkah gelt. So here's our little, these little finger puppets. And
Well, there's a little.
we have a
teddy.
little
Yeah,
Happy Hanukkah bear.
cute little teddy.
Oh,
And our last thing,
But then our last pillow just says happy everything.
Oh, I love that.
see our Hanukkah, it looks like, it is kind of modern.
Yeah, we use some modern.
that's very
Oh,
cool.
wow.
Yeah. So that's us.
That's us.
That's us.
Collectors of,
Yeah, I was using just a menorah for a while, a Hanukkah, but then I adopted my cat, and she likes to sit on the same windowsill I was putting my menorah on. And I didn't want her playing with a lit menorah, which she probably would have. So I decided that I would put my real menorah somewhere else, and in the window I made this paper menorah. And I made the candles separately so I could stick up a different candle each night. And since I started doing that, I burned myself with a candle kind of ickily. And so now, for now at least, I'm not using a real menorah at all. And my mom has actually bought me an electric menorah, and it's actually the same one that James showed at the beginning. And I've been lighting that every night, and I've found that it doesn't really have the same feel as a real menorah,
Yeah.
but it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're staying safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was.
Yeah, since my mom uses an oxygen concentrator. We never had the tradition of Hanukkah, but at some point I did buy some nice beeswax candles because I said, well, we live in winter. I don't like paraffin smell, so I said, let's light this. But with an oxygen concentrator, no. So I also bought an electric menorah. I played around with the idea of buying James, but then I went with a more traditional electric menorah. And last year I didn't even have that. And I don't know if I can show this picture. I don't know if it shows. No, it won't. I lighted. I made them with also electric candles, but I don't know. It doesn't show too much.
Oh yeah, with your little electric
Yeah,
tea lights kind of
yeah,
things.
with the little electric tea lights, which it's it and I put some uh sparkle around, so there would have also many colors and stuff like that. And oh, and I searched. I shouldn't have, but I went on with the Hanukkah, the humanistic Jew uh ugly T-shirt also because it's the
Oh,
closest thing.
awesome!
Yeah,
Yeah.
I decided it
Where
would
did
be
you
a
get
little.
it at?
Oh well, that's in the the ISHJ offer them through their
Oh, how
T-shirt
cool!
store stuff like that. And they have long T-shirts and um I ordered this one before I saw the long sleeve T-shirts also, but they had this, and I said, okay, I don't have an ugly sweater anyway. If I ever design one, will be probably with Darwin's fish. I mean, the fish coming out of the water or something like that. A very all humanistic encompassing because I'm in a place where just being humanistic is I mean, I think my family right now is the only people that have any claim to the Jewish heritage in this whole 500 people town of 500 people, five churches, different churches. So they are very nice among them. I mean, the different denominations celebrate together and stuff like that. So I think that's, uh, Catholics and Methodists and Lutherans all doing stuff together. I think it's marvelous, and they have fully embraced us as this weird secular uh, with Jewish thing, and my brother helps in the church and stuff like that. So that's great. Uh, and also we have my mom is she her family was Catholic and Lutheran, and she went to a Quaker school. So I am I am heir to all those traditions. So yeah. Um, also we also have Christmas lights. So yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
By the way, we had in the chat. Sorry, my computer is running really slow today. Everything's Val posted. My camera will not do it justice. The colors are much more vibrant in person. So here is a link to one from the artist. I love Jewish thrift pages, as that is where I bought mine. And I'm going to see if I can pull this
Oh,
up and do it on the screen real quick so I can.
oh, that would be great.
Whoa, this is, yeah, let me do the share screen real quick so y'all can see this. This is really cool. Yeah, I love that design. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Whoa,
Yeah, I like that a
that's,
lot.
yeah,
That is so unique. That's so cool.
yes.
Thank you for sharing that, Val.
I will have to check those pages for looking into those stuff in the near future. Though I'm very bad at not spending when I should be spending, so I have to refrain.
Well, I think we'll have some more of our liturgy stuff for a little bit, but if you have more things to share, feel free to raise your hand, put it in the chat or something, and we can look at more stuff. So, but let me go ahead. I'm going to share screen for this next part. Yeah, this particular computer is just running like everything moving from one. This is a different computer than I usually use, and why won't it let me? Sorry, I'm having. It's not letting me get to the right screen. I'm gonna have to stop. See, because it keeps putting where I'm switching from tabs. Okay, well, let me close these real quick. That'll speed things up maybe because I don't need the YouTube videos up now, and then we can get to the next part. Okay, here we go. So we now turn our minds and hearts towards those who need our love, who are ill, who are lonely, who suffer pain, who have been wronged. Let us pause as we call out their names.
Karen,
Jeff Goldman, Lavender, and Lawrence.
Maury,
Jack.
Jack.
Pinellas.
Nelly,
Robert, Hannah, Phil,
Moy, Luis,
and Elaine.
Moses,
May all who suffer know they are not alone. May they experience refuah shlema, the renewal of body and spirit. Mekum hakoach betokenu mekorot haberkah mekevrotenu. May the source of strength that dwells so deep within us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
Amen.
And let us make peace in the world. Let us make peace for us, for all Israel, and for all humanity. And we say, Amen. Nahase shalom ba'olam. Nahase shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei tel ve'nomar amen. And now we are coming to our version, our the Zikr. This is our kind of also a version of a Kaddish. I know I'm going to real quick stop screen share because I need to. Actually, no, I can do it from my phone. I had one person send me one via Facebook message. Let me pull up who that was. But go ahead and say the names of those if you're remembering today while I'm looking up this one that someone wanted read.
Elena,
Philip and Faye.
Annie.
Michael Bowman.
Martin's grandmother, Emelinda Di Maggio.
Mm.
Please stand and embody your spirit. May there be a good remembrance and compassion and kindness and love from all the world upon the names of our honorable loved ones who have passed from the world. Let us make a place in our hearts to remember their good names, a good memory, and let us honor them with good deeds. May their memory be a blessing forever. Amen. Would someone, any of our Hebrew fluent folks would like to recite the Hebrew blessing on the right side?
יחיינה זיכרון טוב וחסד ורחמים ברכה מכל העולם, על שמות המכובדי יקירינו שברים מהעולם. הבה ניצור בליבנו את שמות אבותים וזכרם הטוב, ונוקירם במעשים טובים, זיכרונם לברכה לעולם ועד. Amen.
Amen. It is upon us to praise the beauty of the world, even as we fall and rise up, and to continue the work of repairing the world. Within us is the power to build and repair, and it is in our hands to bring about liberation. And one day, humanity will be united and one in purpose. And now, as we're coming to the close of our service, it's time for our version of the Kiddush. So if you have wine, if you have, in my case, I have tea this morning, whatever special beverage you have today, let us join together. We raise our glass the sixth day, and on the seventh day, we complete the labor which we perform, and we refrain on the seventh day from all our labor. And we bless the seventh day and set it aside, for we refrain from all the labor which we have to do. In keeping our glasses raised, Yom Shishi Vetkal Bayom Hashvi'i Hameleka Asher Noesta Neesta. Vatishbot Bayom Hashvi'i Kol Hameleka Asher Neesta. Neverek et Yom Hashvi'i Van Kadesh Oto. Kivo Shavatnu Miko Hameleka Asher Bakanu Leasot. Savri Kavarim Vek Kavarot. Attention, friends, we raises our glasses some more. Baruch Hahor Bakayim Bore Pori Hagafen. We all say Amen.
Amen.
And then if you have some bread handy, let us lift our bread. Blessed are those that bring forth bread from the earth. Berakim Hamotzim Lekim Min Haaretz. Amen. And Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach.
We'll keep our Zoom open for a little bit longer. But it's just so great seeing everyone this morning. And we'll go ahead and turn off the recorder.